It was a cold evening when Daniel Harper sat at his kitchen table, staring at a stack of unpaid bills. The heater hummed weakly in the background, struggling just like him to keep things together. His 8-year-old daughter, Lily, was asleep in the next room, unaware of how close they were to losing everything. Daniel rubbed his tired eyes and whispered to himself, "I'll figure it out. I always do." That same night, miles away, a young girl stepped out of a sleek black car and looked at a modest neighborhood with quiet determination. She carried only one suitcase and a secret that could change everything. But she didn't want luxury, she wanted something real. Before we dive into this powerful story, take a moment to support the channel. Like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps bring more inspiring stories like this to life. Daniel hadn't always struggled. A few years ago, life was stable. He had a decent job as a mechanic, a loving wife, and dreams that felt within reach. But everything changed the day his wife passed away unexpectedly. Since then, Daniel had been raising Lily on his own, doing everything he could to be both a father and a mother. But life in a small American town isn't always easy when you're alone. Rent kept rising, his job hours were cut, and bills piled up faster than he could handle. That's when a simple idea came to his mind: rent out the spare room. It wasn't much. Just a small room with a creaky bed and a window that didn't fully close. But to Daniel, it was hope. He posted an online listing: room for rent. Affordable. Quiet home. Single dad with daughter. Days passed with no response. Then, one afternoon, his phone buzzed. "Hi, is the room still available?" Her name was Emily Carter. They agreed to meet that evening. When Emily arrived, Daniel was surprised. She didn't look like someone struggling. She was well-spoken, polite, and carried herself with quiet confidence. But there was something gentle in her eyes, something that felt genuine. "Hi, I'm Emily," she said with a warm smile. Daniel nodded. "Daniel. Come on in." Lily peeked from behind the hallway wall, curious as always. "This is my daughter, Lily," Daniel said. Emily crouched down to Lily's level. "Hi, Lily. That's a beautiful drawing." Lily smiled shyly. "Thank you." Something about that moment felt right. Emily looked around the house. It was simple, a little worn, but clean and full of warmth. "I'll take it," she said softly. Daniel hesitated. "You don't want to see other places?" Emily shook her head. "No. This feels like home." From the very beginning, Emily blended into their lives in a way Daniel never expected. She wasn't just a tenant. She became part of the family. She helped Lily with homework, cooked dinner sometimes, and even fixed small things around the house. One evening, Daniel came home exhausted to find dinner ready and Lily laughing at the table. "You didn't have to do this," Daniel said. Emily smiled. "I wanted to." Slowly, Daniel began to feel something he hadn't felt in a long time: relief. But Emily had her own reasons for being there. She wasn't just a college student looking for a cheap place to stay. She was the daughter of one of the wealthiest businessmen in the country. Her life had always been filled with luxury private schools, expensive cars, and endless expectations. But none of it felt real. Her father believed money solved everything. Emily believed something else: kindness did. She had made a decision to leave that world behind, even if just for a while, and experience life as it truly was. No privilege. No shortcuts. Just real people, real struggles, and real connections. And that's how she ended up in Daniel's small home. One night, Lily fell sick. Daniel panicked. He didn't have enough money for a proper doctor visit, and the local clinic was already closed. "I don't know what to do," he said, pacing. Emily gently placed a hand on his shoulder. Let me help. She stayed up all night beside Lily, checking her temperature, comforting her, and doing everything she could. By morning, Lily was better. Daniel looked at Emily, his eyes filled with gratitude. Thank you. I don't know how to repay you. Emily shook her head. You don't have to. But Daniel insisted. No, really. You've done so much for us. Emily paused, then said quietly, you already have. Daniel didn't understand what she meant. Weeks turned into months. Their bond grew stronger. Emily wasn't just helping, she was healing something inside that home. Then one afternoon, everything changed. A black luxury car pulled up outside Daniel's house. Neighbors peeked through their windows. It was the kind of car that didn't belong in that neighborhood. A sharply dressed man stepped out. Emily froze when she saw him. Dad. Daniel stood there, confused. Dad. The man walked inside, his presence filling the room. Emily, this is over, he said firmly. You've made your point. It's time to come home. Daniel looked at Emily, shocked. What's going on? Emily took a deep breath. Daniel. I didn't tell you everything. My father, he's very wealthy. Silence filled the room. Daniel stepped back slightly. You mean, all this time? I didn't lie, Emily said quickly. I just didn't tell you. I wanted to live a normal life. I wanted to understand people, kindness, without money involved. Her father scoffed. Kindness doesn't pay bills. Daniel felt something stir inside him. He looked at Emily, then at her father. Maybe not, Daniel said calmly. But it keeps people going when nothing else can. Emily's father looked around the small house, unimpressed. This place, this life, it's not for you, he said. Emily shook her head. It is. At least, it's real. There was a long pause. Then Emily turned to Daniel. Thank you, for everything. You gave me more than you know. Daniel swallowed hard. You're leaving. She nodded, tears in her eyes. I have to. Lily ran up and hugged her tightly. Don't go. Emily knelt down, holding her close. I'll never forget you, okay? That day, Emily left. The house felt empty again. Days passed, and life returned to its usual struggles. But something had changed in Daniel. He felt stronger somehow, like Emily had left behind a piece of hope. Then, one morning, there was a knock on the door. Daniel opened it and froze. Emily stood there, smiling. I'm back, she said. Behind her were workers, tools, and plans. What's going on? Daniel asked. Emily took a deep breath. I talked to my father. I told him everything I learned here. About you. About Lily. About kindness. She looked around the house. And I convinced him to help. Over the next few weeks, everything changed. The house was repaired. The heater fixed. The broken windows replaced. Lily got a proper study space. Daniel was offered a better job at a new workshop funded by Emily's family. But more than that, they stayed connected. Emily didn't return to her old life completely. She chose a new path, one where she could use her resources to help people like Daniel. One evening, as they all sat together at the dinner table again, Daniel smiled. You know, he said, I thought I was helping you by giving you a room. Emily laughed softly. And I thought I was just renting a place. Lily grinned. But we became a family. Daniel looked at them both, his heart full. Yeah, we did. Sometimes, the greatest acts of kindness don't come from wealth or power. They come from simple moments: opening your home, offering a hand, or just being there when someone needs you. And sometimes, kindness comes back in ways you never expect. So if there's one thing to take from this story, it's this: never underestimate the power of kindness. You never know whose life you might change, or how it might change yours. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe to Corner of Kind Choices, and share your thoughts in the comments. And remember, a small act of kindness today could create a big miracle tomorrow.